Hello guys and welcome to Switch Play, and today we have part two of our preview of the Barclays Premier League. Yeah, and I'm joined by Tom
Hello.
and Michael.
Hi.
And last episode, as you watched, hopefully, we had Bournemouth and Arsenal, and now we're moving on swiftly to Aston Villa and Chelsea. We're going to start off with Aston Villa and signings they've made. Jordan Ayew from Lorient. Idrissa Gueye from Lille, Mark Bum from Norwich, Scott Sinclair from Manchester City, Jordan Amavi from Nice, Micah Richards from Manchester City, and Jose Angel Crespo from Cordoba. But Villa have certainly been busy with the incomings and also with the outgoings, with Christian Benteke going to Liverpool for 32.5 million, and Fabian Delph, aka Snake, has gone to Manchester City for only 8 million. So they've had 7 incomings and 2 outgoings. So they've been busy, haven't they, Tom?
Yeah, they have. I mean, the outgoings, I think, are going to be huge hits for the team because Benteke and Delph, I'd say they were the top 2 players in the squad.
Hmm.
And I think losing them is going to be, really hard to come back from for Tim Sherwood because obviously he's, I mean, those 2 players are like one of the main parts of the squad, so they're going to be relying a lot on the new transfers to come up big, and I don't know. I think players like Jordan Ayew, I think they could be really good, and Amavi as well.
Yeah, he
Um,
looks very solid.
so I think those kinds of
And
transfers.
Richards.
That's true. But I don't know. I think it's going to be hard to kind of lose their captain and their best striker. But I mean,
Well,
I
yeah.
think Tim Sherwood can do the job at the end of the day.
Well, we've lost our core because with departures of Benteke and Delph, as we just said, but they also let Ron Blah release. They released Ron Blah, and I've spoken to a couple of Villa fans I know, and they did say like it's good he's gone because he's actually shit. But I've always thought he was a really good defender. But according to a couple of Villa fans I know, he's really shit. So it's not a massive loss. But other people, other clubs, or other fans from other clubs, should I say, think it's a massive loss. But actually, it's not. So, but we got to go look into the future a bit. Rudiger Stead, probably by the time it's uploaded, he's probably joined Aston Villa for a fee approximately worth 6 million. So Tim Sherwood's got a striker replacement straight away. And he's kind of built like Benteke, really. He's a target man, obviously. Did very well in the Championship for Blackburn last season. Very impressed, and he was on been attracting a lot of Premier League speculation with, I think, Watford were in for him, but it seems like Aston Villa have their man, so that should be a good signing. But go back to last season, and Paul Lambert, their ex-manager, was sacked in February, and things weren't looking good for Aston Villa as
No.
a whole. They were struggling big time. They couldn't score a goal, really. I think they scored 11 goals when he was sacked. So that's just it's not going to keep you up. But when Tim Sherwood came in, he got them playing counter-attacking football, and with the pace they got, Akbonhall, Benteke, Bakuna, Zogbia, Grealish. They're players who love that counter-attacking style, and they flourish with it. I remember they won 4-0 against Sunderland, which was a terrific result. Or 4-1, should I say, I think. But they got to the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
They lost to the mighty Arsenal. They did get spanked quite heavily, but
Yeah. It's not the greatest.
they got to
Final.
for Wembley. They got to the FA Cup final, which is a bit it's a big achievement. But
Yeah. Yes.
they'll be,
They have a lot to thank Sherwood for that. I think he really set them up well towards the end of the season,
yeah.
and obviously they beat Liverpool to get to the
In
FA Cup
semi-final.
final.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean Liverpool weren't at their best at that time, but I think it showed just the improvement that Sherwood's brought about the club. And
But I think. Oh, sorry.
I
But
was
I
just going
think.
to say he got the best out of all his players
Yeah.
to do that.
But I think it's a big season for Sherwood as a manager, because this will be his first full Premier League season as a as a manager in the Premier League. So it's a big task for him to set up, pre-season and to get off with a good start. So it'll be interesting in that sense how his progression and how his team perform.
We saw as well with Aston Villa, we've seen quite a few strikers being linked. Gested is obviously seem like a transfer is almost definitely going to go through now. But we saw Adebayor was linked to them, and Dimitar Berbatov were both linked heavily with Villa. So
That would be Tim Shaw would have the biggest pair of balls ever. If he goes with flipping Berbatov and Adebayor, like if it could be a stroke of genius, or it could be an absolute disaster if both those signings go through. But only time will tell, I guess. But I think they've got a solid squad, Villa. I think that they shouldn't get relegated. I don't think I think they go come mid-table. In my prediction for next season, I've put them 14th.
I just want to say, I think that Gusted's like a huge bargain for like the price they paid for him. Like when you see, obviously we're gonna buy Jordan Rhodes for like 12 million or something, then you see Wickham going to Crystal Palace for 9, and like I just think that like the figures being thrown around like in the modern day market, and then you see Gusted go to Villa for 6 million. And that's like a huge value for money, because obviously last season he got a goal every 2 games, and if he can sort of recreate what Austin did, obviously coming from a high-scoring championship season and then doing the same in the Premier League, then it's going to be one of the bargains of the season for Villa if he can perform at the similar level.
Mm-hmm. So what are your predictions for Aston Villa in the next coming season? Tom?
I've got
Michael?
13th.
Tom?
I reckon. I did a little table a while ago, and I put them at 14th, just because
And what?
I can see them definitely escaping relegation. But I don't know. I think they would be targeting to get top level. They'd be hoping mid-table, 12th or above. But I think the teams around them, I can see them only achieving 14th.
And what was Colm gone for again? He's still on holiday, by the way.
Colm put Aston Villa at 14th as well.
So I think we'll agreed to put them 14th.
We're all in the same ballpark. So I think we'll put Villa in 14th in our Premier League prediction table.
Sick. Now moving on to the current Premier League holders, and that is Chelsea. Jesus Christ. Where can we start? I think we have to start. They've not made terrific signings, but let's be honest, their squad at the moment is terrific anyway. But they have made a couple of notable signings. Adnan Begovic from Stoke, and Radamel Falcao on loan from Monaco. And that, certainly, Falcao on loan, that excites me a lot.
Yeah, I think if he can perform, I mean, there's not many ways that Chelsea can improve in terms of winning each game and taking each game as it comes and getting all 3 points from it. But if Falcao performs as well as we know he can, I think it can only be a good thing for Chelsea. And if it doesn't work out, I don't think it'll be a huge loss. They've got the players, to take that role and help them get the points anyway. So
yeah,
it's all good.
They were so impressive last season. Diego Costa's fitted in so well with Chelsea. They're scoring 6 goals in his first 4 games, I'm pretty sure. And Fabregas, him and Diego Costa have a wonderful link-up play. Even in the first game of the season against Burnley away, they're terrific, just passing. And Roman Schürrle's goal, that was probably one of the goals of the season on that first Monday Night Football against Burnley. So they can play some delicious football, and they can play defensive, I wouldn't say part of the bus, but they can do it the dirty way. They can play a lovely football, but they can do it. They've got 2 game plans, which is key for a title push and title running. And I think Chelsea, they've looked good pre-season. They've got, I think they have to be the title favourites currently with the bookies, and I'd say they've got a good chance of retaining the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're definitely good enough to keep a position like that in the Prem. I think I can only see them winning it again. You know,
Yeah.
a huge loss for them if they didn't. And to be honest, I can imagine them kind of running away with it again.
Mm.
Because I think I don't know. I just feel like there's no game that they're not capable of winning.
Mm-hmm.
They can come against every big club. They could play the top. The other top 5 and the top 6 in a row and probably win them all.
Yeah.
So, but I think the signings they've made, like Begovic is just another slight improvement. It's not. It makes a player like Czech not as much of a loss, and I think the other signings they've made, while not being as notable straight away, it's just what Chelsea do. They bring in Pantic and Nathan, who are 18 and 19 respectively, and those kind of young players is what they're all about. They've got plenty of young players out on loan.
Yeah.
They've got a world-class squad, a future world-class squad at their things really, and they can just pick and who's the best. And
I think, the only disappointing factor of Chelsea's season last was the Champions League performance. They got knocked out by PSG in the round of 16, and that was really disappointing for Jose. And PSG were down to 10 men for most of the game, especially in the second leg when Zlatan got sent off wrongly, in my opinion. But they need to. I think Jose was very upset with that. So they need to. I'd say they need to improve on that, because I think Chelsea fans love winning the Premier League, but it's all about nowadays Champions League. Try and get to the final and try and beat those teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Juventus, PSG to the big silverware in European club football, maybe world club football as a whole, really.
I just want to say that, despite when people complain about Chelsea's style of play, I think Mourinho has the mindset that people's expectations of how you play the game. I know it's good scoring, amazing goals, but I think his mindset is just as long as you win the game, it doesn't really matter how you do it. And I think even though the game, their style can be quite boring to watch, you've got to admire the way they play, because they play the game way that not many other teams do, in the sense that they do the job. You know what I mean? They don't mess around. They just get the job done at the end of the day. And if they're going to win the league playing like that, then fair play to them. I don't know. I just think they play well in that sense.
It's Jose Mourinho, really. He sometimes doesn't like conceding goals. He doesn't like having 5-4s or 4-3s. Just likes to 2-0, 3-0. Yeah, it's good. Win's a win, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any point saying what position we'll think they'll all finish, because we probably all have the same.
I have first.
Yeah.
we've all got first. haven't we, so.
That's a first, maybe.
There we go. So we'll stick them in first in our.
We will stick them in.
We'll put them in first in our Premier League table, which
is looking good. It's got 4 teams right now.
we've got the 4 teams in, and it's gonna
16 to go.
16
Maths.
left.
That's maths.
8 more episodes to go, and make sure you're leaving your suggestions, your opinions on these teams, and yeah.
Before we go, we've got our little feature at the end of this part 2 of a preview of the Barclays Premier League, as who you guys should be putting in your fancy football team. So for Aston Villa, we've picked 2 players, and we think Carlos Hill and Brad Guzan should be your 2 picks from Aston Villa. And for Chelsea, it's quite tough because there are so many good players, but we finally knuckled down to predict or to say that you should get Branislav Ivanovic He's an absolute bar. He's just a fantasy football just legend. I think every year I've done fantasy football, about 5 years now, I've always had a Van eviction. So he's a must in any team, even if you support like Spurs or whatever. Just get him in. Don't care about who you support. And the second player is Eden Hazard, Premier League Player of the Year last season, or PFA Player of the Year last season, and he's looked. Well, the goal he scored against PSG in the pre-season friendly 2 nights ago was amazing. So he looks like he can really set alight the Premier League again this season. So he's a must-do. And that's all for part 2 of the Barclays Premier League review. Again, we'll be uploading part 3 and part 4, part 5, etc. Until part 10, daily episodes. You lucky sods. But yeah, thank you for being with me, Tom.
Alright, goodbye.
And Michael, say goodbye.
Bye.
Before we go, just follow us on Twitter at SwitchPlayYT, and follow us on Twitch, which is Switch Play Podcast. But if you do, leave a comment. Who do you think will win the league, and where would you put Aston Villa and Chelsea, like Tom said? But I just want to say it again, just to get in your brain. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and goodbye.